You know, the computers that we all have in our pockets now used to take buildings to contain. And now they fit in our pockets. And now you know it's only a matter of time before they're in our contact lenses. I mean, Google already just came out with the contact lens for diabetics, right? That measures their blood sugar and transmits it to a smartphone. Now, whether you believe we're there or not, this is coming. And the technology is like human productivity. It happens on an exponential growth curve. How many of you believe that the Federal Reserve System is unsustainable because they keep printing money exponentially? You're wrong. And I can, look, with hand charts, I can prove this mathematically right here. So bear with me, time, whatever. So human productivity is an exponential curve that is driven by technology. The Federal Reserve in the big fiat currency as the global reserve currency that it represents today is an exponential curve that represents the ripping off of all the standard of life and quality of life increases that we would be enjoying if that was not being sucked away. So as long as it's going up exponentially, as long as they moderate it to follow that curve and quality of life keeps going up linearly, and enough of the dumb sheep will go, well, I got a bigger house and a nicer car than my parents. Hypothetically, it could go on forever. We can't wait for that collapse. It's going to come from awareness. It's going to come from spreading awareness that this is a ripoff. But it's also coming from the technological empowerment that we already have with cryptocurrencies. And I'm sure there are a lot of fans of Bitcoin here. Yeah, any fans of Bitcoin? Money off the grid, right? Or maybe super on the grid, depending on how you want to define that. Money away from government. And we have the technology. It's only a matter of time before people are able to click over and decide, geez, do I want a currency that's gaining in value or dropping in value? Geez, that's a really simple one. 3D printing. We have little machines that'll sit on your desktop and squirt plastic into cool shapes, right? It's a start. But do you see the potential for this? Pretty soon we're going to have we're going to have metal and plastic on tap the way we have water and electricity and now information. But how many of you know we already have molecular 3D printing in labs? They're able to literally recombine atoms into molecules based on a computer controlling this. Now here's a little bit of a mind fuck for you, all right? So just be ready for this. Got to prep you for this. Think about how much change we've experienced due to technology just in the last 20, 30 years. Now realize that this is an exponential function. That whatever we've experienced in the last 30 years that may be equivalent to the tens of thousands of years that came before that, that amount of change is now going to happen in the next 2 to 5 years. Pretty soon, that computer in your pocket is going to be embedded in your skull somehow. I'm actually looking forward to that. Don't worry, I'll go first. But what scares me is if we still have government at that point, right? Pretty soon, that 3D printer that's on your desktop that squirts plastic into cute little shapes is going to be doing molecular 3D printing. And pretty soon, that device is going to fit on your fingertip. So what happens when you have a computer directly attached to your brain that controls a 3D printer that allows you to just literally create anything you want out of thin air? What do you get that guy for Christmas? How do you convince cops in that world that violence is necessary to organize society? How do you convince someone that the welfare state is necessary when you can work for a year or a month or a week and support your family at a higher standard of living than your parents' generation for the rest of your life as a result? Life expectancy is driven by technology. We are coming to what Aubrey de Grey has dubbed longevity escape velocity. Yeah, all right, cool. We got a round of applause from that from the back. We are coming to the point where if you are young and healthy today, you will live to the point where nobody dies of old age anymore. Let that sink in for a second. Now, can you imagine a world where we have all of that and we're still doing this ridiculous thing called government? That's scary. That's what motivates me. That's what keeps me up at night coming up with new ideas. That's what motivates me to bust my ass every day to do what I do, to spread this message, to spread this awareness, to get people at least paying attention, to inspire self-ownership, to inspire people to stand up and demand their rights as free, beautiful, independent human beings. And it's an honor to have all of you be a part of this and to know that there are other people who care about this message and make it possible for people like me to do what I do full-time for a living, and because there are people in this room who are doing the same thing that are standing alongside me, and we're here to welcome me to Dallas with a freaking armed escort. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'd just like to end, Mr. John Jay, if you're about ready to kick this off.
Take your time.
All right.
I don't think anybody's here to see me.
Well, I'd like to at least, well, maybe we can take some questions then, if it's appropriate here. But I'll just end with a quote or a saying from the Chinese, which is appropriate to, beg permission from them at this point, because they're going to own this country soon enough, right? If they don't halfway already. May you be blessed to live in interesting times. Some would say that's a curse. But I think what we're coming to with all of these exponential growth curves, and I know I took algebra in high school, exponential growth curves never go vertical. But from the perspective of the human mind, the point we're coming to in the next, maybe it's 10, 20, maybe 50 years, maybe we've hit that turning point already, I can only describe as the asymptote of human existence. And it is a very, very exciting time to be alive. And in line with the epiphany that I had in jail about this truth empowering you to live a happier, better life, it's just an honor for me to have a chance to share that joy with all of you. So thank you so much for your attention tonight.